Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Neil. Neil, the Pirates won today 5-3.
They did.
I didn't think it was going to happen.
I didn't either. I was not happy watching this game for the vast majority of it, but
I know, right?
This has to be the first time in weeks that I've been able to give out sandwiches.
I know I've given out a few now, but I forget when it was. But like the one time I recently just did it, that was the first time I did it, and I can't tell you how long. Like I forgot I had to get like the giveaway tool going to give these out. There you go, Neil.
Yeah, I broke out the hat. You know, yeah, it's going good, so I can't complain too much.
No, this was a game. I'll put it that way. It was your typical Pirates game in the sense of the offense didn't show up. They were making the starting pitcher on their side, which of course was Jameson Taillon today. Looked really, really good. They scored in basically one inning and shut it back down again. But today it was enough.
Yeah,
it was. They did have the insurance from Nicky G. I'm not going to take that away, but
yeah. No, I mean it was great, and you know, it sucks because all I can think right now is that this should have been like a big win that put us like further into the wild card hunt or pushing us ahead of the Cubs as we both tried for that last wild card spot. And instead we're just here discussing another Pirates win. And that's a little disappointing, but I was happy to see Jared Jones back. That was the big thing.
They are no longer double digits losses below 500. Just 9 now. Just 9 games. Below 500. So there's that. And I guess if you want to look at it this way, the Cubs, their people are talking that way. You know, I mean, they're not that far off from wild card games. So like if you're looking at stupid victories that don't matter because, you know, you've been a Pirates fan for many, many years, when September comes, you're not really rooting for your team. You're rooting against other teams. You've helped destroy the Cubs playoff chances tonight, right?
Yeah.
It's one game at a time. They've won, 9 out of 10, 6 in a row. And your Pittsburgh Pirates stopped that.
It's just like last year,
right?
where we get in the way of the Cubs playoff push.
Yeah,
I don't think we'll eliminate them like we did last year, but it always feels good. Even when the Pirates suck, it always feels good to beat the Cubs.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna say it feels good, but it's like, you know, stick it to somebody. You can't. Again, like there's not too much you're really rooting for, so you know, root against people, I guess.
Yeah.
Either way, let's go forward here. Just so you know, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today, get on the action. Bet online, the game starts here. So, what did you think about that game, Neil?
It was not fun for the first 6 or so innings.
No.
You know, when Jared Fiola was the only guy getting on base. And then the 8th inning happened. I was a lot more happy. But the big thing is, like, I felt like Jared Jones looked pretty darn good today. I don't think he deserved those 3 runs. And I don't know if we want to start there.
Sure,
but
why not?
I thought he was not. I thought he looked way better than the runs that he gave up.
I think that's fair. I'll say this: it was definitely an improvement of his last start.
Oh yeah,
still not to the Jared Jones as we've been accustomed to seeing level yet. He was missing a bit more today than normal. But like you're right. I mean, he was pitching a lot better. The defense didn't help him out too much, but I'll also say this also, like Pete Crow Armstrong, holy hell. Like we know he's fast, right? It's one of those things, you know, something happens, right? You know, O'Neill Cruz hits the ball hard, right? You know, Pete Crow Armstrong is really fast, but when you see it in action and see how it like disrupts the play, there was an easy double play there that only you get one out for because Pete Crow Armstrong makes it to second base. Like the first leg of the double play was the one that was safe there. They couldn't get out at second. They got the guy out at first. And then in turn, the hit to right field draws in, 2 runs. That could have been an inning double play that alluded to 2 runs scoring by the next batter. So like that's part of it, and again, like that's just hand it to, the Cubs there in that sense. Jared Jones gave you the double play ball that you needed, but he's human alive and couldn't get it.
His home run to Swanson was a home run only in Wrigley Field. Like that barely scrapes the stupid little basket they have there in the outfield. I know it's iconic. I know historic, but it's stupid and shouldn't be there. On
the other end, Bryan Reynolds is the same spot though too.
True, but at least Bryan Reynolds hit it into the stands. I know that was also like only a home. I know that was also only a home run in Wrigley Field home run, but it's different when we do it.
Right. That's fair. It's different when we do it. But like I jokingly said on Twitter, eye for an eye. Like they got a cheap one. Pirates got a cheap one. So we'll wipe the slate. We're even on there.
Yeah. But I would say, he didn't have his swing and stuff, but he wasn't walking people. That was the big thing I noticed. And I really feel like you could have gotten that ball that went for a triple for me in Hap too. I feel like Tellez could have gotten that. So I mean, Jones wasn't his best, but I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied from what I saw.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too. Like he wasn't his best. You can't demand and expect him to be at his best at all the time. He did enough today to keep the team into the game and win. And again, like normally after this post-game show and how it felt, we'll be coming here and talking about how that's all you can ask for, and a normal team would be able to score more than 3 runs, and the Pirates, weren't. That's how it was going when Jones was in the game. Now, of course, when he came out, the Pirates decided to do so, and they did end up scoring and winning the game, right? But that's what we're talking about. Like he did enough to keep the team in the game. They were in the game, and they finally executed and won the game. So yeah, Jared Jones wasn't top notch today, but he did enough to get the win. And again, like he doesn't actually do so, but the Pirates come out victorious.
Yeah. No, and I mean, everything we've seen so far from this rookie campaign has been pretty much exactly what you want, even if the ERA is a little high. 3.91 ERA, especially after coming back from an injury, a really bad start his last time out. No, I think he's just fine, even if he's not missing bats the way we're used to him missing bats. I think that was like the one thing we're missing today.
Sure. But all in all, Jared Jones does go 6.1, gives up 6 hits, 1 walk, like you mentioned. The 4 strikeouts, 3 earned, of course, the home run and that double we talked about. Or I guess it'll end up being triple. But the one that scored 2 runs where, again, like he needed a double play ball. He gave the double play ball. Pete Armstrong's just so fast that he beats out. I mean, it goes right to shortstop. Yeah. It's an easy turn too. And they couldn't even make the first leg of the double play. I mean, again, I'm still like just boggled by that play. Man. But
Pete Armstrong's a guy who knows how to use his speed. Unlike our speedy guys, like he knows how to cause trouble with his speed, make people uncomfortable. And maybe he can actually hit, but I hope not.
Yeah, and he did it all last series. And here we go, the first game of this series, and he's doing it again. So at any rate, yeah, Jared Jones does a thing. Beeks comes in to finish out the inning for him. Clean for him. Goes 0.2, gets 2 outs, 1 by strikeout. And yeah, that's when the fireworks went off.
Yeah, so that's when the fun started.
Jamison Tyone also, again, like kudos and credit to him. He was pitching well. I felt like it was kind of the same. Like him and Jared Jones are pitching almost equally effective in that sense. He wasn't getting a lot of swing and miss either. He was getting a few calls. I'll say that.
Yes, he was.
But most, like, the Pirates always do. They don't really adjust. They stay stubborn. They see what's happening. They would keep watching go by. And I know that's harder to say than do, in-game adjustment. But anyway, he was getting a little bit of calls there. I don't like to go that route, but, he was a little bit there. The Cubs defense was certainly capitalizing. They made a couple, like, really good plays.
Yeah, the Cubs play good defense. We need Coach DiNardo in there to fix the bats. You fix
Just start
Cutch.
swinging, guys.
It worked for Cutch.
Yeah, clearly.
But yeah, no, it was really frustrating. Tyon didn't even look bothered by us, I think was the big thing. Like Tyon was really, really comfortable through all 7 innings that he threw.
Yeah.
I think he went 7.
Yep.
And it didn't look like we were close to challenging him or even threatening the score when he was pitching.
Well, he went 7. He also gave up only 1 walk and just 3 hits.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think, as I mentioned, him and Jones were kind of similar in that sense. Some balls went through, with Jones. Obviously, the home run, that was a home run, right? But again, like with Tyon, the defense behind him was working. And Tyon was part of that also. I mean, that foul ball that ended, I think, the 6th inning, he was just running, and he's the one that got it in the foul territory, showing his athleticism for a pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like, the Cubs are coming through defensively to hold him down. But he leaves the game. Lopez comes in, and just immediately the Pirates start paying dividends.
Yeah. Lopez changed the game, which is crazy because he's been pretty good all year. But, IKF pinch hits, got that really nice single. Then Gonzalez reaches in. Bryan Reynolds is so good. I love Bryan Reynolds so much. A little bit of a unicorn home run, like we talked about.
Yeah,
it was only a home run Wrigley, but I think I'm just so happy with how often Bryan Reynolds just comes through in clutch situations. Like, I'm pretty sure he's rocking an average over 300 with runners in scoring position this year. Someone can check me on that, but I'm almost positive. Like, he's been so consistently good. It's not Mr. June anymore.
No, Mr. June bled into Mr. July,
mm-hmm.
and he cooled off in the sense of which, he wasn't going to be hitting as well as Juan Soto for the rest of the year, like he was in June and into July and such. But, he's cooled off in that sense, but he's still been a well above average hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I'm kind of pulling up the splits right now to see also, but he has. I mean, it feels it, right? It feels that we can find out here for sure, but it certainly feels as if he's been clutch. He comes at the big moments. I know it's like a running joke and probably more of a joke than anything, but it's always like, when the lead is insurmountable by the other team, right? When the Pirates are down 8-0, that's when Bryan Reynolds hits his home run, right? Pads his stats. And it's been, the exact opposite this year for sure. He's really, really coming through. So, and you talked about like the wall scraper, I get it. Like it was only a home run in one park. However, it happened. He did it. It was a big moment. He came through. That tied the game. It started with, Alika Williams was pinch hit for IKF.
Mm-hmm.
IKF gets that blooper into, right center. Guy on base. Nick Gonzalez gets on right after him with an infield single. 2-1, no outs, and Bryan Reynolds comes up to the plate down 3-0 and ties it up with one swing right then and there. This game went from within 3 batters. This team's never coming back. What's the title of this show's loss to, oh my God, we just tied it. There's a chance.
Well, because I was about to get ready get set up for like the post-game show, like as the 8th inning was going on. And then once Bryan Reynolds hit that, I'm like, well, this is going to be extra innings, isn't it? I 100% thought this was going into extras, especially after the Cruz strikeout. And then Cutch. That was such a cool moment from Cutch.
Right. Yeah. That was the other thing. So you got the tie there. You're feeling good about that. There's at least a chance now. If anything, the game's interesting. There's at least runs to talk about. And then Cutch comes up and says, take it easy. Number 18 on the year for him, batting in the cleanup spot. He's on, a 14-game hit streak, I think it is.
I'm actually not sure, but I believe you.
Don't do that, Neil. Trust me. At any rate, he's on a hit streak of what length? I'm not exactly sure. I want to say 14. I think maybe it was 9, something like that. Whatever.
That's a big gap. That's a pretty sizable gap.
It is a big gap. However, I want to say it is 14. But it's the longest one he's had since 2015, which I think was 19 at the time. All these numbers are probably wrong. Regardless, he's hitting well recently. He's still hitting well for the season. Cutch just showing you once again why he belongs on this team, why he should probably belong on 2025's team. Coming through in the clutch right there gives the Pirates the lead at that point in time. And now, Neil, it's no longer on the offense. The offense done their part. Now we transfer to, okay, well, how's this bullpen going to ruin it for us?
See, that's why I was excited, but I didn't get too excited for the Bryan Reynolds home run because I'm just like, well, now we get to see the bullpen. And we all know how that's been going. And then Cutch does that. And no, the bullpen did its job. Really good stuff from all three of them tonight. Was not expecting closer Denise Santana. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Right. We'll talk about it here for sure. Before we do, I do want to go back because I have the numbers up here also. You talk about Bryan Reynolds with runners in scoring position. Clearly, hands down, the best on the team. And this doesn't count tonight, right? But heading into here, he was batting 318, 400, 514 with a 148 weighted runs created plus. So
that'll play.
Again, you're talking clutch. Absolutely. 48% above average when guys are in scoring position. He's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you pull up Cutch's numbers, it's probably not as good, but I'm
Cutch is second.
I'm assuming Cutch's runners in scoring position is also pretty darn good.
Yeah, like I said, he's second. He's batting 250, 408, 413 with a 133 weighted runs created plus.
Yeah,
so again, he and Reynolds both coming up big when they need to.
Yeah, it is nice because I think Jim and I talked about this last time I was on, and if he keeps playing like this and he keeps hitting, he is going to play himself onto the 25 roster next year. I mean, he's going to be a cheap bat who produces for you, who wants to be here. It's kind of like a no-brainer for a team that doesn't spend any money. Like I said, unless you're trading for someone like Brent Rooker, you're not getting a better value than McCutchen next year.
I'm with you. We can go on quite a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll save this for the offseason because there's going to be a lot of back and forth with that. But yeah, I'm absolutely in on Cutch returning, and I have my reasons too as well. But so again, Cutch gives the lead, and then later on in the game, Nick Gonzalez comes through the big RBI. If there's one thing about Nick Gonzalez, he hasn't. Okay, I'll word it this way: since coming back from the recent IL stint, he's been pretty effective, right? But on the long haul, since he got called up, he had that really, really hot month, and he's really, really cooled down since then, where he's a well below average hitter. But he seems to find this knack of coming up big, when guys also in running scoring position, finding RBIs, hunting RBIs we talk about. And today he gives the Pirates much needed. I guess they didn't really need it, but you want to have insurance runs, and he did extend the lead from being 4-3 to 5-3 on that hit there. So Nick Gonzalez didn't have a really good game per se today, but that one was pretty clutch. I guess he did have 2 hits today. My bad.
Yeah, I was not thrilled to see him batting lead off full disclosure. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is where we're at. But he was good today, and I mean, 2 singles. They get a clutch RBI. With this bullpen, you need every single insurance run you can get,
right? And more.
And more. Sometimes 2 runs, sometimes 7 runs isn't enough,
Right. But yeah, so again, we talked. Royals Chapman comes in. He doesn't get the save today. He comes in on the 8th. They did say they were going to go by committee here. They didn't obviously when Bednar was removed from the closer, they didn't commit to another guy. It wasn't like they said Royals Chapman is our closer. They did say they're going to by committee. So he comes in out for the 8th critical point, and again, only up 1 run. That ball was hit pretty deep in the right field. That made me a little bit nervous. Maybe nervous not just because it was hit deep and it's lurking to be possibly out, but it made me nervous also because, that's where Brian De La Cruz plays.
Yeah.
And how's this going to become interesting? But he actually makes that catch. So no harm, no foul. Thank God. And yeah, it wasn't the cleanest inning by Chapman. It wasn't his peak performance that he's shown on the year,
No.
but he gets them through.
Yeah.
Scoreless 8 for Chapman there.
I mean, I don't blame a single soul for like from the 7th inning onward, like seeing a fly ball, like and people freaking out. Like I completely get it because in some ways I'm in the same boat. Like every time is that sense of dread. But no, Chapman was good. No strikeouts, which is weird for him. But no, he did his job, and he's been doing his job for like pretty much 3 months at this point. He had some rough patches in May, but he's been our best reliever.
Yeah. Yeah. Santana closes this out. I guess, what was your thought on that?
I mean, I understand why they don't do it, like to keep clubhouse morale up, but I think closer should always be closer by committee. Like that's just how I would do it. And so I was a big fan. Santana's been great. So I had no problem with him closing out this game. And he looked pretty good doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a couple things I want to talk about in that sense. One is the fact that they handed him the opportunity to close out the game and get that save. So to me, that feels like, they've been trusting him more in those pivotal roles, of recent, where he has been coming through. And today, to be told now I guess a 2-run game, but still, I think it was one run game still when he was warming up. So he knew he was closing out the game in a 1-run game, that it's going to be his time. And so like you're seeing them have a little more trust in him. They gave him this opportunity. And once again, he comes through in a pivotal opportunity, pivotal moment, right? You're closing out a game. It's a 2-run game in Chicago, and he comes through for them. And, as I keep saying more and more each time that Santana pitches, like, got to give this guy his credit, because we've been talking him up in the sense of like, hey, look at this guy's performances since I think like June 6th, or whatever, right? He had that like blow up in his second appearance, coming over from that trade. Since then, he's really calmed down. He's really performed well. And, you can say, well, he hasn't been in the most pivotal moments. It's, they're either, down by 6 or up by 6. He's in there pitching, but it's been more and more of those moments for him. And he's still coming up pretty big. And today he gets that save on the year. So I have nothing negative to say about Dennis Santana at this point in time.
Yeah, I don't think it's as good, but it is very similar to the Ryan Borucki situation last year.
Yeah.
Where none of us wanted him on the team. And I think it started out pretty rough. He wasn't good when he started. But no, he's another guy you can slot into that bullpen next season. I don't know where he fits in terms of the hierarchy, but this is what it's all about, how you build your bullpen. This is how they built the Shark Tank. You find the cast-offs. We got him from the Yankees of all teams, the big, the team that we're afraid to give relievers to. And he's been really, really good for us this year.
Yeah, he really has. Again, I don't know like where he fits, but at this point in time, he's penciled in for me as a bullpen role for next season. Like he's proven to me that he belongs in that consideration.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm trusting him like because of this performance he's putting on right now, that like, oh, he's a 7th man guy, an 8th man guy, but like,
no,
he's in the conversation. He's in the conversation where honestly, at the time of pickup, I'm just kind of pissed off that he's here. This guy's been bad. He's pretty much been bad all his career. What's going on? But here we go. He's turned it around. Like you say, like much like Borucki. That's why I put my hand up. I trashed Borucki when that
I did too.
Out. I mean, he was just awful, and especially the AAA numbers with Chicago at that point in time was just awful. And look what he did last season. Again, like I know we have our tiffs with the coaching and such, but like with Oscar Marine, he's done enough for me to calm down there with him. There are pitchers that have found success elsewhere, but you know what? We've been that team as well that take pitchers and find them success here. And if you have your own success stories, that's all you can really ask for.
Exactly. And like every team loses relievers and they find success ever. Like that's not just a Pirate. Like there's a lot of things the Pirates do badly and a lot of things the Pirates do wrong, but every team loses good relievers that they can't solve or they can't figure out. And
Exactly.
so, the fact that you do have Baraki, Moretta coming back next year healthy, and Santana hopefully slotting into like a reliable reliever role, like that's pretty good.
Right.
And you have Jalen Beeks there to be like a left-handed specialist. Like there are talented pieces in the bullpen. If anything, it's the top guys who have been stinking up the joint, but no complaints at all from Denis Santana. He's been awesome this year.
Yeah. One thing though, I just want Beeks won't be back. He's a free agent. He was just a rental.
He was just a rental.
But either way, like
okay,
not the largest loss in the world either. But yeah, the others that you're talking about all remain the same.
Yeah, I just assumed you didn't trade for a rental reliever. My bad.
No, they did.
All right, good.
But I do want to remind everyone real quick, of course, get your hashtags, #RaiseIts in the chat right now for your chance to win 2 free Primanti Brothers sandwiches. Just under Neil's shirt right there. You see how it's on the graphic. Comment #RaiseIt. No spaces. Doesn't matter if it's capitalized or not, but just make sure the hashtag's there. The words "raise it" are after, all unison. One giant scrambled word. All right. So, anything else that you really want to talk about with this game, though?
No, I think that's it. We touched on all the main points, so I'm ready to hand out some sandwiches.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and do it. So as we stand right now, we have, what's going on, guys? 59 entries. I know it's September baseball for the Pirates, but let me check. What do we got going on? There's 84 in right now. So we got to get more entries in here.
Yeah, come on, everyone.
So here's your of course your opportunity. Get your #RaiseIts in there. I'm gonna bring this up while we do that. Go ahead. If you've already put your hashtag in there, go ahead, give this video right now a like. If you're not subscribed to it, subscribe. 40% of, I think 60, I think, or 40. I don't know.
The more that you
know, top of my head right now, I don't remember, but
the more
one of those 2 percentages aren't subscribed to us that are watching right now.
The more raises you put in there, the less chance Doug has to win it.
There's that too. All right. We're at 61. See, the Jolly Report knows what's up. #RaiseIt. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do it. Let's draw 61 in there. Let's see who gets their 2 sandwiches. There's Doug's name again. Paul's name's in there.
Oh, I'm pulling for Paul.
Lisa.
All right. Congratulations,
Lisa's a 2-time winner.
Nice.
Lisa Evinger wins the 2 sandwiches. So you know what to do, Lisa. Go ahead and email us at northshore9@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, what have you. Just make sure we got that address so we can send those out to you so you can get your 2 free Primanti Brothers sandwiches.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's right. You can thank Bryan Reynolds and Andrew McCutchen for this.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll partake. Maybe they'll join you.
Yeah. Get a little team meal down at the Market Square Primanti Bros.
There it is. All right. So, Neil, this was a fun time.
It was.
We'll be back again tomorrow. Pirates play night games all week long. So we'll be back. We'll be here every single evening for a post-game show, which of course means no NS9 Live this week also. But I guess until then, we'll see ya.
Have a good night, y'all.
Appreciate everyone for watching. Bye-bye.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.